Hi, I'm Barbara, and I'm the coordinator for the Morristown group of the Community Shared Garden at Genesis Farm. So, we're still getting a few winter vegetables in our shares. So, one of the things we have is potatoes. And this week we got more potatoes, and I hadn't finished all the potatoes from the last share. So, I really want to use some up. And we got garlic scapes. I couldn't remember the name before when I made the original video. These are garlic scapes. We're not getting a lot of onions yet because, well, you could see from the scallions, they're still at a very young stage. So I'm going to make potato pancakes, so I'm not going to make them the way we normally make like latkes because I don't have onions and etc. So I'm just going to hand make a small batch. I'm going to use, I keep kosher, so this is some of my parve materials. So, because I'm not going to use any milk in this recipe or any dairy. So I'm going to just inspect these potatoes and see how they look. I could see because they were starting to sprout. When you get wintered over potatoes like this and you have them in storage and it's not that cool like they were in the farm, they were in a cold storage room, they're going to sprout faster than potatoes would that you normally get during the winter because they've been stored all winter already, and then they come into a slightly warmer space than what they were in. So you do want to use those potatoes up from the farm pretty quickly. So that's why I'm going to use the ones from last week, get them gone. So I'm going to grate them by hand. I leave the peels on. I see no reason to take the peels off, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're grown in good, clean soil. I scrub them well in my water that I had for rinsing off my vegetables that came from the farm. I like to save dirt, and I don't wash the potatoes before I put them away because the little bit of dirt, I put them in a special drawer in a basket, and that little bit of dirt keeps them from boiling so fast. So if you wash them, they're going to go bad faster. And you have to be careful when you get to the end here. And if the pieces are too big, like here's the skin, it's a little too big, so that I'll go ahead and put in the compost. And I'm just going to keep grating. I don't think my husband wants any of these potato pancakes. I'm just going to make one batch for myself. And really, when you get your produce, you always want to be thinking about what can you make with it, what can you do with it. And there's always lots of things, and you can be creative. You don't have to do it the way that I do it. You don't have to, like for example, some of you may not like to eat raw scallions. So you might think that you would like to use your scallions in something like this, in your potato pancakes. My husband loves to eat them just the way they are, so I don't want to waste them by cooking them inside of the potato pancakes. So I'm just grating 3 kind of small potatoes that I've cleaned. I'm also careful because when I hand grate potatoes, I don't know about you, but I have often been caught with my thumb and scraped off part of my finger. So I'm always careful as I get to the bottom here not to do that. I'm kind of that's why I'm not watching you, I'm watching what I'm doing. And getting here to the bottom. And make sure not to cut myself, because that's never pleasant. And this is a little piece, I got the grate. I'm just going to slice it really small, the little piece that's left there. I'd rather do that than cut myself. So then I'm going to scoop this into my bowl. And then if you look inside, there's always more. So take my hand and just squish it out. And then going against the grain on the grater. So, with it, so that I'm not cutting myself again. I'm just pushing from the bottom to the top. And then I'll put it in the sink a second. I'll be right back. So my hands are clean, but I always wipe them on my apron. So if you see my aprons are stained, it's because I do this all the time. So So here I've got a fair amount of potato, and then here's my garlic scape. Now remember, the bottom part is really great. The flowers are good. Sometimes a little bit above the flower, it's okay, but once you get further up, I just find them very tough. I don't like to do that. So this is kind of curly. Now I can just singly cut it all the way up, or I can kind of cut it at the first turn and then cut it again. Actually, what I'm going to do is, there's a really curly part, so I'm just going to cut that curly part off because it'll be hard to cut with the other one. So I'm going to take two of them and cut them at the same time. They're fairly, oh, you probably can't see me, so I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to bring this, let me see, can you see if I do, I'm going to try to position this so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now you can see the cutting board. So I'll just do one at a time. So again, remember, you leave the top part of the knife on the cutting board, and you're doing an action like this that's with your, whoops, let's move over, this with your wrist, right? And then just pay attention to what you're doing, because when you're going so fast like this, it would be easy, you can imagine, to cut your fingers, and you don't want to do that. And I'm holding it at the end. When I get to the end, I slow down. And so again, you can go really fast. You can, because I'm keeping the top of the knife on the cutting board, it allows me to really control how, if you look at these pieces, they're pretty, a lot of them are pretty much the same size. See, so, but you have a lot of control because you're keeping that one part on the cutting board, and then how far you push it through from behind and how much you move your wrist. It just really allows you to control that. So now I'm getting to this end part. I'm going to, you can feel as you cut through the flower and just below the flower how soft it is. And then I want you to see, when you look inside of the stem that's above the flower, look how it's kind of white inside. And if you look at, whoops, a little bit that was below, you see it's all green. So this white part is not going to be all that pleasant. It's probably going to be tough. So that's why I'm not going to use it. I'm going to put it in the compost. So that's one. I'm going to put it on in my bowl of potatoes and then decide if that's enough or if I want to use another one. I'm going to stir it a little bit. I think, as I'm looking at this, I like garlic. So you can see it mixed in there, but it's still a lot of white to the green. So I'm actually going to use at least part of another one. So I already washed these. I'm also going to make a salad with my dinner and with my freshly washed mesclun or spring mix. So I'm going to put some of that garlic, the garlic scape, inside of my salad. But so that's why I had these already out and washed. Okay. Oops. Run away. And actually, now that I think about it, I think I'll also put some parsley in here. So hang on. Just as I'm looking at it. Ooh. Or actually, changed my mind. I think instead of parsley, I'm going to use some basil. So I put the basil, I actually didn't put it in the fridge with the rest of the herbs. I put it into water because basil stores better if you do that, if you put it into water, and it really, really perked up by doing that. And I think, as I've told you with some other leaves like spinach, I'm going to stack my basil. I'm going to roll it. And then I'm going to slice it very finely, just like I did my spinach, just like I did the bok choy tops. I think I've shown you this method before. Really allows you to get nice fine cuts. And then because I don't want a big bite, I'm going to actually chop through those circles a little bit more. And it gives me, I'm just going to go over it a few more times to make it a little finer. And then I'll put it in there. Because I'm not going to grate, I didn't squeeze out these potatoes like you might with latkes. I'm actually going to use a little, after I mix in the egg, I'm going to put in a little bit of whole wheat pastry flour. I'm using Bob's. It's a now employee-owned company, which I like. And they have, I found some organic whole wheat pastry flour from them. Because I keep kosher, I'm going to first break my egg into a bowl, make sure there's no blood, and then I will put it in there. And I'll mix this all together. And I get an idea of how wet it is. You can see it. A little wet, not too wet, but so I'm going to put some in a bowl. I'm going to just sprinkle in some of this whole wheat pastry flour. I'm going to grate in a little bit of salt. I like to use the pink Himalayan salt. It has lots of good minerals that are good for you. It's supposed to most closely mimic our blood. Who knows if that's true, but I like the taste. And let's put a little bit of that in, and I'm going to stir it. And when I'm happy with the texture, which actually I think I already am, I'll show you in a second. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. See what it looks like? I think this is ready to cook. So I'm going to cook this up. I'll show you a picture at the end. On the video, you'll see a picture of the finished product. But there you go. It's very easy. So it'll just be potato pancakes that I'll cook in a little bit of olive oil on the stove. And I'll eat it with a salad, and I'll have a lovely dinner. Thank you. Enjoy. Come back for more tips and ideas. Share your ideas of what you do with garlic scape. And if you want more ideas, we'll keep cooking and making other recipes so that you can get some ideas. You could also go to the Genesis Farm, the CSG at genesisfarm.com website, and they have a whole page of recipes, and you can look there and get some ideas. So I hope this gives you some ideas of what you can do with your end-of-season potatoes and your new garlic scapes and other veggies that you're getting from the farm. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.